Okay, it sounds good.
Just in case, I'm muting myself for now.
Yeah, me too. Look who is here.
We have Onur attending from Turkey.
Hi.
Hello. Merhaba.
And and we have some colleagues joining. For our new attendees, we are going to kick off in about, let's say, 3 minutes. We are just waiting some people to join as well. For our attendees, we are just waiting for some new colleagues to attend, so we will start in about 2 or 3 minutes. Thank you for your patience. For our attendees, welcome to our webinar. We are going to be starting in about 2 minutes, and thank you for your patience. Hi again, everyone. Good afternoon, and welcome to our webinar. It's kind of a cold and foggy day in Toronto, but I hope that with this new information we will be providing, it will lighten up your day. We are going through really interesting and challenging times, and today we are going to share a new opportunity with you. But before doing this, allow me to introduce myself and our distinguished speaker. My name is Cactus Clark Onan. I am the Managing Director for OpSense Digital. And today I will be discussing the augmented shopping solutions with my colleague, Ryan Godai from Pulpo AR. He is the head of the Latin American market and the board member and joining from Brazil. Hi, Ryan.
Hi, sorry, I had my mic mute. So hello, everyone. Also, as Chagda said, it's foggy and rainy here in Brazil today, so it started the winter. But yeah, it's cozy, and I think it's going to be great for this webinar. So I will leave the first words for Chagdash, and then I will join in the middle and give you the information for the AR and how we can make good content and deliver good AR content for users and consumers.
For sure. From my side, allow me to maybe just shortly introduce what OpSense Digital is doing. We are based in Toronto, and we are acting as a digital catalyst, helping the clients to accelerate their marketing operations. We kind of position ourselves not like a traditional digital marketing agency, but kind of a connecting tissue between the clients, their marketing operations, and the technology. And we always come up with innovative solutions so that they do not kind of lose time and kind of take benefit of these technologies to increase their sales and marketing operations. I will kind of ask Ryan to maybe just change the slides. So our kind of mission is really providing and accelerating the marketing operations. What we do in just like 3 pillars, we focus on 3 important aspects of the business: creating a consumer research for busy marketers, and by using these consumer research, creating the fast and high quality digital marketing assets and digital creative content production. And our focus is also on the data-driven transformation and augmented shopping solutions. In order to kind of reach out to this mission, we recently announced a partnership with Pulpo AR for the Canadian market. So we are going to be bringing the augmented shopping solutions to Canadian retailers. And even we have been recently featured at the Retail Insider website. As you might know, the Retail Council of Canada recently released a playbook, kind of a marketing playbook for retailers. And there is an important statement there. As you know, given this consumer concern regarding the virus transmission of COVID-19, and as we are like in the reopening phase of the economy, high-touch services like in-store sampling, virtual makeovers, it will be closed. And in addition, the customers will be really reluctant to use testers doing makeups in the stores physically. So it's going to really affect the cosmetic and beauty industry. And the problem we are just working on right now, how are you going to boost your sales during this challenging times? And at this point, I just want to leave the stage to Ryan. I will just mute myself, and he will take us through the journey of augmented shopping.
Thank you, Jagdish. Thank you very much for your introduction. Hello, everyone. So again, I'm Ryan Godoy from Pulpo AR. Today, the idea is to talk a little bit about AR shopping and how we can deliver content for engagement and also for sales conversion to consumers and support the brands to go through the COVID-19 crisis right now and speed up a transformation that was already in place, that was changing how consumers shop, basically, by using AR shopping technology. So today we'll talk a little bit briefly about Pulpo AR and what we do and what is our aim. We'll go through AR shopping VTO, what is the virtual try-on and advertisement. We go through the AR content delivery channels, or basically this means how we can deliver AR content and which channels we can use to deliver this kind of content to consumers. Then we go through some best practice for developing good virtual try-on content and fun filters for social media. And at the end, we go through a questions and answers where we can have some interaction and answer some questions from the audience. So Pulp AR, it's a company. We are based in San Francisco. We have offices in São Paulo, Brazil, where I am based, and we take care of South America and Americas in general. And we have also operations in Europe. We have two offices in Turkey, one in Istanbul and one in Izmir, where is our development center. And we have offices in London also. So the idea we have, or the aim we have, is to transform how the retail provides the experience of shopping for the consumers by using augmented reality. The problem is that today, conventionally, people have, if they want to try on products, they have to move from their homes or whatever the location they are and go to the stores in order to have to touch and feel and try on the products. And what we see is that technology has developed so much in the past years that now we can provide some kind of a similar experience virtually. So people, they can start trying on products, especially like makeup or sunglasses, and even seeing objects and products in their homes without leaving their homes. And this is the idea of the technology. So enhance the experience of the consumer, reduce costs, improve the conversion of sales, and so on. So we are going to talk about some applications of the AR for the sales now and shopping. So the first one I would like to try on is for makeup. And I would say that makeup, it's the application that is more mature. We have the technology that's working fine. I would say that it's almost perfect. You've seen the next slides how we have pictures comparing a person wearing the physical product and the virtual product, and you almost cannot tell the difference. At least for us men, we men tend to see less the difference of the color and all these kind of things. So when we made the research, we saw that men, they said that it was 100% alike. For women has to see more the details and so on. They would say it's 80% to 90, 95%. But you see it's very alike. So the first application is virtual makeup try-on. So the idea here is to give the ability of your consumer to try on lipsticks, eyeshadow, or blush, or face powder, all these kind of products at their home or even in the physical store. So some of the applications could be, for example, you have a physical store, and imagine you have a woman that goes there and she wants to try on different colors of lipstick. The process basically, she has to choose one color, she puts it on, and then she has to remove it and put another one. So this process is, this experience is, this journey is not so, so smooth. And we made a research and we found out that besides this bad experience of not being able to try many different colors at once or in a fast way, also the women, they reported that they feel it's gross to somehow try on lipsticks that other women has tried before. In Brazil, it happens. So they have like a lipstick tester in the store, and many women, they try it. So some women, or the majority of the women, they reported it's gross, and they would like to change this experience. And this is what we can do right now with the makeup try-on. The technology in this side is very, very mature. We'll see that later. In this slide, this is what I would like to show you guys. So in the left picture, you see one of our colleagues, she's wearing the physical product. So she put on the product, we took a picture of her, she took it off, and then we made her wear the virtual product, and we took another picture. So when we made a research showing these pictures to people, most of the men said it's 100% alike. Some women, they said it was 80% to 90 to 95% alikeness, but you can see it's very, very much alike. So next application we have for virtual try-on, it's for the eyewear. This is also, we can consider this also a very mature technology by now. We have the technology that can make the sunglass fit in your face almost perfectly. I say almost because of course you have some impacts of lights, you have some impacts of the angle of your face. If you turn your face more than a certain degree, the computer vision may lose the reference, but in general, the experience is very good. And we have some comparisons also of people wearing the virtual product and the real product, and it's great. Even the scale of the product in the face of the user matches nearly 100% of what we see in real life. So this is a second application, very mature. Here's an example you see on the right side of video, where we show different models where the user can choose and select different models and try on. And from that point, the user can be directed to the e-commerce and to the product page and go directly to the checkout, maybe, you know. This makes it easier to make the sales conversion and not to lose consumers that abandon their shopping carts. So another application we have is for furniture. This makes easier for you to see how a product you want to purchase online on your home. It could be a plate, it could be a flower, it could be a couch, it could be a bed, it could be, recently we have some cases where even sinks and toilets are being displayed in people's home, and nearly 100% like real life. The technology is also very, very mature. The computer vision can recognize the flat surface of your home and place the object in like real scale. Another application we are seeing growing recently, it's to showcase vehicles. It could be a motorcycle, a car, a bike, or whatever vehicle we're talking about. So you can see the vehicle in front of you, literally. You could go to your garage, point your smartphone, and you could see a car in your garage. And besides that, you can also change the colors. You can change the configuration of your car. You can change the accessories you want. And this makes great for the brands to showcase and display their products everywhere, like in a ubiquitous way. Another application we have is for the fashion. Here, like the others one I have shown, we can say it's quite mature. It's quite ready to use. It's nearly perfect like real life. But when it comes to fashion, we have to be a little bit careful there. So the characteristics of wearing a cloth, it's different from seeing a still object that it's stopped in front of you. And for the clothes, you have all the movements of the fabric. You have the size and the wearing of the person. Some person it's chunkier than the other one. Some others are thinner. And it's nowadays, we can say that it's very difficult to reproduce a virtual try-on of clothing like in real life. What we see is it possible to do? But usually what happens is you can take a picture of a person and then you come with a second layer of the clothing on top of it. But to be sincere, we are still far from having perfection in there. But still, it's a good application. So, and you can take then your imagination for many other products that you can virtually try on or virtually see at the comfort of your house using augmented reality. So all these cases that we spoke so far, it's towards AR shopping. So the idea is to virtually try on products, see if I like it. If I like it, I go and I buy it from my house. I don't need to go and walk to the store anymore. A second application we have is what we call the augmented reality for engagement. And this is a fun way to create awareness of your brand by creating filters and letting user use your filters on social media, for example, in Instagram, in Facebook, in Snapchat. Recently, we see with the COVID, a lot of people, they are making, like we are doing right now, the webinars, and you can you can change the background. You can add some filters during the transmission of a webinar or a e-meeting, for example, in Zoom or Whereby or Hangout. And we see this is a very good way to make engagement. We'll see some numbers later. And but what we see is that the engagement when with the brand, when using filters, it increases by 10 times. So here we have some examples of filters we have made for brands. This one, for instance, on the left, it's we made for the Children's Day last year, and it was a hit in Brazil. It was like a skull face, a mask, a face mask filter. The brand is Lojas Renner. It's a fashion retailer. We were not branding, or we're not trying to virtually allow the consumer to virtually try on clothes. We were giving them a filter so they could have fun, and by having fun, they create somehow a bond, a connection with the brand. And it was we had really good results in there. In the middle, you see a filter we have made for Kia in Brazil. It was the launching of the new Kia Cerato in Brazil. So user could see and play with the new Cerato, where they could stick their head out of the window of the new Cerato. It was also a big hit in Brazil. And this is a way of creating a bond and connection, again, with your audience and your consumers. Here we have a third one. It was for aesthetics brand in Brazil. The idea was, again, to create a mood or a environment where the user could have fun with the brand and connect with the brand. In this case, this brand was promoting self-confidence. And here, sorry, the video is a little bit short, but basically what happens here is when the user smiles, it brightens up their day. So if they don't have a smile, everything is grayish. You see at the beginning of the video, everything is grayish. Once she smiles, the day brightens up and she gains some self-confidence. So this is a way of having the brands to communicate and interact with the consumers, creating a very good awareness of your brand. So this is another application for the augmented reality. So in the previous slides, we saw how augmented reality can be applied for shopping, and now we see how it can be applied for engagement and creating brand awareness. So let's move on. We'll see a little bit of the benefits of using AR for shopping and commerce. So what we see, some researchers from Gartner says that 70% of consumers are more loyal to brands that are incorporating augmented reality as part of their shopping experience. What we see is that 50% of consumers says they would be more likely to shop at a retailer that utilizes augmented reality. We have made a research past year when we were preparing to go to the Web Summit in Portugal. And what we found out is that 50% of the people says that they are willing to avoid going to the store, to the physical store, if they have an alternative to experience and try on the products at their homes. And here's another confirmation from the Gartner research saying that 50% of customers, they say they would be more likely to go to retailers that use augmented reality, because it shows how users and consumers, they express how the experience is enhanced by the use of augmented reality. Here's some other benefits we have. We have seen some returns rate declining by 50% in some e-commerce that use augmented reality for accessories, for example. What happens sometimes is that if a person wants to buy a sunglass, they go to the e-commerce. If they cannot try on, what happens is that sometimes they buy like 7, 8, 9 models. They order these 8, 9 models. They have it delivered to their homes. then they try it. They see it fits, if it fits well or not. Then what they do is they may stick with one, they may buy one or two, or maybe they may buy none of them. And they end up by returning all these other models or all the models back to the store. And what happens is there's a huge cost in the returning of products to the stores. And by using augmented reality, the user is allowed to try on the product before they buy it. And what happens is the costs of return goods are much lower. Also, what we see is the expansion of product catalog. When we talk about this, we are talking about not only for the e-commerce or apps, or for the online shopping channels, but we are also talking about the in-store catalog. So imagine you have a sunglasses physical store. What is the variety of sunglasses you can have in your store, and how much does it cost for you? By using augmented reality, let's say you have a smart mirror in there, you can have a much larger variety of sunglasses for your user to try on without having this product physically in your store. And what this makes is to reduce your capital in stocks. Another cost reduction we have, and this is a good one, we have had interviews with big cosmetic brands in Brazil. What they say is that for cosmetics, it's very expensive. It's not only expensive, but it's also a pain in the process. So usually when they launch a new product, let's say they are going to launch a new makeup lipstick line with let's say 5 to 6 colors, what happens is they have a budget for that. And they spend all the budget in the packaging, developing the products, in the production, and so on. At the end of the cycle, when the product has to go to the physical stores to be displayed to the customers, they need to deliver the samples together. Because in some countries, like in Brazil, for instance, it's normal for the woman to go there and try a sampling, like a lipstick, for instance. But the thing is, at the end of the journey, the brand has already spent almost all the money and the time they had to launch the product. And there's no money and no time left to develop the sampling. And this is a burn. This is a big pain for them. This is what they say. And additional problem we have is in some countries, the hygiene legislation or the health and safety legislation kind of forbids you of having, a sampling that can be worn by one or more people at the same time. So it increases even more the cost of sampling. And you can avoid that by using smart mirrors with augmented reality in the store. Another benefit we have is to enhance consumer experience. Like we already mentioned that 50% of customers are willing to avoid stores if they can virtually try on the products at their home. This is a huge enhancement on consumer experience. Another point we can say that is a huge improvement is getting the customer feedback and having the data analysis on that. So you can, for example, you can see how many people has virtually tried on a certain product, and you can check the sales conversion on that. And you can see if, okay, a lot of people, they try it and there's no conversion. What does it mean? Does it mean they don't like it? So you can start gaining insights from that. And another thing, it's more for the moment right now. It's because of COVID-19, like Chagdas mentioned before, the Canada Council, they are giving a policy or a playbook where they ask the stores, now they're thinking of reopening the stores. This is not the case of reopening the stores. There will be some similar guidelines. And one of the guidelines that the Canadian Council has put in place is to avoid high touch products. So even the council, it's telling people to use augmented reality so they can avoid many different people touching the same product, to avoid cross-contamination when the economy reopens. So right now, with the stores closed, your brand can benefit by using augmented reality by allowing customers to right now virtually try on products. When the stores start reopening, your brand still can benefit by using augmented reality for all the other reasons I have shown, and by complying with the guidelines from the health and safety policies from each country. So now we have spoke about the AR shopping, what are the benefits, and we are going through some channels of how we can deliver this AR content to the customer. Some people, they think it's only they tend to think it's only a face filter for Instagram or Facebook, or they could use only in the app. But this is not true. And the truth is, you can deliver this content in very, very different ways. So let's talk a little bit about the integration right now. One of the first ones we have to talk, and which we believe it will be a big hit in the coming months, for instance, is what we call the smart mirror. The smart mirror is basically hardware where you have a screen and a reflection a layer on top of it. And basically, you could put that in many different places, like a store display or in the middle of a shopping mall, or you could put that on a bus station, for instance, or inside the elevator, at the back of the Uber, the car. You know, you have many locations you could put that. And what it causes is to enhance your omnichannel strategy. And this smart mirror, what it does basically is it allows the customer to virtually try on products in that screen. So imagine you are walking past a store. You are on the sidewalk, and then suddenly you see yourself in a mirror. But when you look to the mirror, you have sunglasses on you. And, you know, it kinds of calls your attention and makes you stop there and see, whoa, what's going on? And then you can try other models and so on. And then you can, maybe it magnetizes you and you enter the store. So it's also a traffic generation for the physical stores. So the first one we spoke is the smart mirror. This is a proof of concept we have made together with one of our partners, which is SAP. And what they do is, inside of a store, women, they like to try the makeup. And like we mentioned before, instead of the woman having to wear the physical lipstick or the eyeshadow and removing it for each color they want to try on, or for instance, for each combination, let's say they want to make some combinations of the colors of the lipstick and the eyeshadow, for instance. It's really hard to make with the physical product. But by placing the smart mirror in the store, you can allow the woman to easily make that, or the men. Some men now are wearing makeups also. Let's call it a consumer, right? Another way of delivering is the digital signage. Like I mentioned, the screens or out-of-home media, like in a bus stop or elevator or whatever. Another way to make integration and delivering the AR content is through the web. This is one of the most known ways of doing it so far. So you access a website, a e-commerce for a certain brand, and from the product page, you can click and try the product directly from there. And then you can go to the checkout and buy your product. So this is integration with the web. Another integration that can be made is to a specific app. So imagine your brand has an app where your consumers are used to go shopping, for instance. So let's say they prefer going to your app instead of going to your e-commerce website. We can make the integration to the app as well. So again, in the product page, the user just clicks and try on the product, and or you can make, if you have this already your own app, you can make a special app for you and make the integration. So we can integrate in different kinds of apps. Here's some screens of what can be done and the journey. In the first screen you see on the left is you enter the store, then you try on. the product. You choose from different colors, and then you click buy and you go directly to the checkout. So the journey is, what we have done is adding a step of virtually trying on products to the journey of purchasing online. So another channel to make the integration of, it could be a fun filter or could be a AR shopping experience, a virtual try-on. It's the social media. You could make, for instance, like we have done in the past for makeups, especially virtual try-on in the Instagram and Facebook. So you make a filter for Facebook and Instagram where you let the users virtually try on the product. And from the filter, you can direct them to the e-commerce directly from the face filter, which is called now the AR ads by Facebook. This is a great way of reaching the customers, creating engagement, and delivering them to the e-commerce. And not only for the virtual try-on, then you can also integrate the fun filters, of course, like we have mentioned before. So another number that we have to keep in mind, 63%. Again, this is all these numbers are from the Gartner research from last year, 2019. And from this research, what we see is 60% of customers are sure that augmented reality will buff their shopping experience. So they acknowledge that this is a game changing for them. So now that we have seen all this content, we go through practice that you have to keep in mind AR content, be it for virtual try-on, be it for fun filter. This technology and the applications are quite new. So we are still learning how to improve the results that our customers can gain from that. And some of these factors we have already learned. I'm going to share that with you guys now. So the first one is to consider the user's device. So it changes from country to country how the majority of the users' devices behave. For instance, in Brazil, Brazil is a underdeveloped country, and I would say that 70% of the population here, they have very low performance devices. So when we develop the AR content here in Brazil for the audience, if we are talking a E or C or D class, we have to make the filters and the content to be as light as possible. Otherwise, our consumers or our audience devices will not support properly to run the content, and the experience will be really bad for the user. When we are talking about a audience in the A and B class, then we can allow ourselves to make larger files, you know, to put more content or to put more weight in the files that we are creating. And that's because we know that devices these people are using, they can support heavier files. So this is very important. Another factor is that some devices, they are coming with the AR kit included in the devices native right now. So when we talk about the Android devices, some of them, they have already the capability of running what we call the AR core, which is the AR engine that is made by Google. And the iOS devices now, they are coming with the built-in engine to run what we call the AR kit. That is, it's the similar version of the AR core, but from Apple. So this should be taken in consideration right now, because cell phones that are older than 2016, in some countries, it happens that you have a lifespan of a cell phone over 4 to 5 years. So if this is the case, some phones may not have the capability of Open AR Core or AR Kit. So another factor you have to take in consideration is that users, they prefer to use web AR. And this is a fact that we have noticed by the users and by the brands also. So we have brands that they didn't have an app, and they were not willing to create a new app, a special app. because the response from the consumers and the users is that users don't want to download a new app every time they need to have an experience. So what they are asking now is to have this kind of experience in the web. So they don't have to overload their phones with additional apps every time they need to open a AR content, for instance. So keep that in mind. So if you don't have a choice, go ahead and create a special app. But if you have a choice, make it in the web. Use web AR. You can nowadays you can create some apps, which is the progressive web applications that you can have. It's much lighter, and you can make it through the web AR. So keep that in mind. Another factor, this is very, 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 very important. Keep that in mind. It's really important to have good 3D models. It matters. And it matters because to have a good experience, we have two things. We need two things. One thing is to have a good model that shows the reality. And the second thing is that this model cannot be too heavy. Otherwise, we'll have bad experience in opening this model. So it has to be, usually what we do is we create good models using low poly. So you have to find a good 3D modelist. This is very important. Another thing is, this is especially for the makeup. You need to have a makeup stylist. So as we were mentioning before, you can allow women to try different colors of lipstick together with the eyeshadow, together with the blush. And having a makeup stylist will make these color combinations much better. And you can make a recommendation of these combinations of color to your woman. So let's think a woman opens up the AR content, and we can suggest recommendation for that skin. If it's a whiter skin, if it's a browner skin, or darker or lighter, if it had some skin marks and so on. So we can make a recommendation. But to make that work very well, we need to have a very good makeup stylist. So we can make the painting, the colors, everything. Keep that in mind. This is also a very important factor of success when making AR content for makeup. Another thing that you should keep in mind is to start with the right product. So we have had customers in the past, they were willing to try and see the results. And what we noticed is some customers, they had different approach. There are customers that they have, let's say they have a stock of product that it's a stock in their warehouse. It's not selling, it's not a good seller. And what they did is, I want to take this product and I want to make AR with that. So then people will try on and will buy it. It was not a success. It was not a success because if the product was stuck already in the warehouse, it's because it's not a hit. It's not what people want to buy. So if you want to start with the big hit on sales product, because what you will do by using AR is to enhance and maximize the sales of that product. And the second and the sixth thing to consider that I have put in place for the virtual try-on, it's the augmented reality engine performance. It also matters very much. So we are a provider of AR engine, and we know that the performance will impact the quality of the experience of the try-on. If the engine is not so good, the experience will not be so good as well. The makeup will not stick to the right positions of the face. The sunglasses will not have the right scale or the angle, and so all these kind of things. And besides that, also the integration. When you're going to choose a AR engine, make sure to choose an engine that can be integrated in multi-channels, because then you are free to create only once the experience and deliver to multi-channels. You create a face filter, or you create a try-on for makeup, for instance, you can integrate to your social media, you can put in a smart mirror, you can integrate to your website, to your e-commerce, to your app, so this is very important. Performance and the possibilities of integration of the engine. Keep that in mind. So this is for the virtual try-on. And now we're going to the best practice of making fun filters. We have learned a lot in the past 2 years also. The first thing that we have learned is fun filters that have made modifications to the user's face they are most likely to go viral or to have the big hits. And the metrics that we consider, it's um, the impressions or the opening of the filter itself, um, the number of people who open the filter and takes a picture wearing that filter, and the number of people who shares that picture with within their social media, or they save this picture. And what we see is that filters that make some modifications in the face of the users are the ones that people are tend to take a picture, save, and share more often. When we say modifications to the face, it could be a simple makeup. You are modifying the face of the person. It could be a face mask. It could be a deformation of the face somehow. I don't know if you guys remember last year when we had the aging app that were changing the faces and making people look older or younger. So it was a big hit because it was changing the face of the user. So another factor we have learned, whenever you make a fun filter, it's really important to make the advertisement of this filter also. Otherwise, the people will not know the existence of this fun filter, and they will not use it. And the best way we found to make the advertisement is to use digital influencers. So you find a good digital influencers that match with the criteria of your brand, and you make them promote your face filter. This is one of the best ways we have found to have good results on using face and fun filters in social media. You could also make advertising by making sponsored ads in Facebook or Instagram. It also gives a good result. When we compare the results of a Facebook ad or Instagram ad using AR against the traditional ad, like using a picture or a video, we see that we have 12% higher click-through rate. So, and the engagement when we have AR, it's already nearly 2 minutes. So usually when people see a ad with a picture of a video, they tend to stay 12 seconds in that ad. When it's AR, the engagement goes to 2 minutes usually. So it's 2 minutes that the people are seeing your brand in there. It also works, but we see that using a digital influencer, it works much better. So another factor to take in consideration when creating filters, culture matter. I think this is a little bit obvious for most of you, but I think it's worth to reinforce it here. It's not because one filter was a hit in one country or one region that if you make the same thing in your region, it will be a hit also. And we see that. We have made filters using people from different locations in the world. And we see that the meaning of some visual elements are different for people in different regions. And that's because of the culture. So take in consideration the culture matter very much when making a fun filter. Another factor of success is be fast when events occur. And when I say about events is whatever event comes to a trend topic. For instance, when we had these, when the aging app went viral last year, many brands in Brazil, they were benefiting from that. So they were fast. They created the face filters for the social media that could make faces like aging or younger, and they were very fast, and the results were very, very good also. But some brands, they took like a week to develop the filters. They did not have the same results. So be fast. So if an event is happening right now, like the COVID, for instance, you have to be fast and make the creation and design of the fun filters very fast. Again, like we said for the virtual try-on, making fun filters also, you should take in consideration your audience devices. When you make fun filters, you have a limitation of 20 to 30 megabytes for the file. But if you have a file that it's lighter, your audience will have a better experience. Even using Facebook or Instagram AR engine, or all their platforms, if the if the file is too heavy and the user doesn't have a very good device or internet connection, the experience might not be the best one. So also take in consideration the user devices when you make fun filters. This is also very important. And last but not least, when you make the fun filters for social media, you can simply make a filter and put in your profile. When people go to your profile, they will see the link and the button to click and see the filters you have on your account. But prefer to use the AR ads, like I mentioned before. And through the AR ads, what it's important to see is that we have seen 12 times higher traffic delivered to whatever you want to deliver your audience, be it to the website, be it to your profile page or to your front page or whatever. So using AR ads, which is a new tool that was released by Facebook last year, increases a lot the results that you see when you use the fun filters. So here we see some cases that were made in the past. One is the Home Depot. They made the this season campaign, and the results were they had engagement of over 2 minutes. Whenever the customer clicks and open the campaign, they would stay there for over 2 minutes. And it was 10 times higher than the traditional ads they were used to make. And the click-through rate was 12.5% to the e-commerce, which was huge comparing to what they had before, which was 0.8%. So they went from 0.8% of CTR to 12.5%. This was an incredible result they had. Also, Land Rover, they have made a campaign using the augmented reality to see the interior of the car. The average engagement was 30% higher than the traditional rates. It means that people clicked in the ad 30% more than they would click if it was a normal ad. And the engagement time, the time that the user spent watching or interacting, was 10 times higher. So for the Land Rover case, it also has passed the 2 minutes time for the users. And here's a very good case we have had for a fun filter that was created for the Valentine's Day this year in Turkey. Turkey has, you guys can correct me, but I think it's around 80 million people as a population, something like that, around that. Am I right?
It's actually, right. Yes, you're right.
Yeah, I'm right. So we made a campaign using the fun filter, and we had nearly 5 million impressions. Or this means, impression means people who opened the filter to try it on. So when we make this, I'm rounding up the numbers to 5 million. When we see the results there, we see that we had like almost 6% of the population trying on. I mean, this is a number, this is a rough number. It doesn't mean that the 6% of the population has seen the filter, because it doesn't mean unique impressions. But you see, it's a huge, it was a huge success for the whole country, considering like 5.8%, 5.8 million of impressions in a country with a population of 80 million. This is a huge success. And what we see is the captures. So from the 4.8 million people who tried the filter, 1.6 million people took a picture with the fun filter. This means, let me make a rough calculation here. This means that 33% of the people who tried have taken a picture wearing the filter. And for the brand, this is a lasting relation with the consumer, with your user or audience, because now they have a picture with your brand and the name of your brand in their phones, maybe forever. And it was a huge. And another point we see was the number of shares. So from these people who captured a picture wearing the filter, 112,000, nearly 113,000 people shared the picture in their social media. This is a big hit. It's a big number, because usually people, they try things, but they're not so intended to share this in in their accounts. So it was a big, very, very good result we had. And by the way, if you guys want to try these filters, all you have to do is to scan the QR code on the side. This was a filter where this is another case to remind of this factor that I told before, be fast when events occur. So what happened here was that face filters having random text, like a game, was in a trend topic. And our customer, they noticed it. And they said, okay, let's make a filter like that. And happily, it was close to the Valentine's Day. So it was a trend topic in the Valentine's Day, and a lot of people used and they liked it. So a combination of good factors. So guys, here I would like, this is the content I had to share. I hope it was a good content and it at least gave you some knowledge of how to create AR content, how to use AR content to enhance the shopping experience of your users and the engagement of your brand with your audience also. I would like to show some of the business partners we have. We have partners in Turkey, in Brazil. We have Flormar, big cosmetic brand in Turkey. We have SAP, we have Estee Lauder, Turkcell, Rossmann, Watsons. In Brazil, we have General Shopping. General Shopping is one of the pioneers in Brazil to use the smart mirror. Unfortunately, the launching was in the middle of the COVID, so the operations had to be interrupted. So, you know, we didn't collect all the results. But we're shifting to make the integrations for the online, for the e-commerce, and for the apps and all these other channels. We can make the integration. And also Lojas Renner, which is the largest fashion retailer in Brazil, big partner of us. They have used our technology for fun filters and for virtual try-on. So guys, I would like to open for questions now. Together with me is Chagdas. And also we have the participation of Onur Chandan, which is our CEO of Pulpo.
Yeah, I'm here.
So if guys, if you have questions, feel free.
I will maybe have one comment, Ryan. Thank you for all this information. As we were kind of, discussing before as well, by using our current business mindset, we cannot survive in this post-COVID situation. So we need to come up with innovative ways. Maybe augmented shopping was kind of, not in the radar of many companies or retailers many years ago, but I think it's now the time to start seriously considering implementing these technologies. They are not expensive technologies, by the way. You can really implement them and start getting the results.
You're right. I think you're completely right. What I see is that there was already a movement of adoption of AR by the brands. And what the COVID crisis has made is to speed up this movement. So there were brands that they were adopting the AR. They were thinking, okay, maybe I use AR shopping. Let's put some money, invest some money here and see what are the results and so on. Some of the decision makers before the COVID crisis, they were not sure, or they were afraid of investing the money because, it's like a early adoption. And when the COVID came, now these guys, they are not hesitating anymore. What they are saying is, okay, I have to do that. I have no other choice. So it has speed up the process of adoption of AR commerce. That's for sure.
And also I want to underline one thing with the Zubizu case. As you might know, it was just before the actually COVID crisis, and the brand received almost 5 million impressions. With this COVID situation, the numbers for the Instagram users and the time spent on Instagram is like increasing like crazy. So even by using a simple social media filter, you can expect to get really interesting results that you may not get with traditional, maybe advertising, digital advertising.
Yes, you're completely right. So we see also that the brands in here in South America, now they see that the customers are at home. The screen time has increased a lot. and all the efforts they are making it through the Instagram and Facebook, basically. So one thing that we have noticed though is that now the brands, they are directing the efforts for brand awareness more than sales, because they were afraid of people being mad on them, like, okay, we have a crisis and you want to push your product towards me. So the brands in Brazil, they were careful, so they were more delivering fun content than trying to push products to these people. This is changing now, but it was what happened here.
Ryan, we have a question from our audience. To integrate the virtual try-on technology to a cosmetic brand, should the brand have a full experienced programmer team?
No, it's not necessary. Our team can, it's capable of making the integration. And the integration it's actually quite easy. So what we do is, all we have to do is to have access to the source code or of your website or your app, so we can make the integration, but we can handle that.
I'm just checking if we have any open questions right now. We don't, and I just want to check with the audience if there are further questions. I think no. Ryan and Onur, I really want to thank you one more time for this great opportunity, and I'm hoping that
thank you guys. It's you're great, and Ryan explained really well and detailed what we have and what will be the future. And thanks for the organization, Çağdaş. So yeah, everything is described, so nothing to say from my side. But I as Ryan mentioned, this is still baby steps, so we are ready to transform the retail and the e-commerce with the virtual try-on with our client and partners. So this is important, because this is really a baby step, but it's coming up and it's becoming really huge market, and the consumers are ready to use such kind of technologies. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Onur. Çağdaş, again, just complimenting what Onur said, thanks a lot for putting together this webinar. Let's do it in all other times. Let's do it again and again, and let's spread the word.
Thank you very much for all our attendees. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us, add us on LinkedIn, and you have all our contact information. And hope to help you with your next journey on the augmented shopping solutions. Thank you very much, and have a great day.
Thank you, Çağdaş.
Thanks.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone.